Welcome back to Connect with Christina, and you can thank me for this later. Welcome, Mycal Anders with Next Level. Finish the whole thing because it was long.
Next Level Performance Consulting.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for making time. I know you're a busy man, and you've already taught me make time for things that matter to you.
Yeah.
So he's also my personal business and life coach. Thank you, Vanessa Ramirez, because she referred
Shout
you
out,
over.
Vanessa.
Shout out Victory Accident Solutions. But I can say that it's super valuable to have access to someone like you. And today I want to share you with everyone else. So
I'm grateful.
Yeah. So please tell us a little bit more, I guess, about why you're even in the space, because you are very, very helpful to the rest of us trying to.
Thank you.
To move forward.
Yeah. I started my career a long time ago in fitness and strength and conditioning. And along the way, I started to notice that your fitness or lack thereof was a symptom of the things you're not dealing with in the other 23 hours of your day. So, for example, if losing 40 pounds, getting off your blood pressure medication and putting 20 more yards on your drive off the tee was supposed to make life better, why didn't it? Why do you still not have any time? Why is your circle of influence transactional at best? You have no real friendships. Intimacy with your other half is not awesome, and your health has gone by the wayside while you build this amazing empire, right? And when I started exploring what was going on between the ears, the narrative and the dialogue that you created with yourself, we started to solve those problems, and the fitness started to take care of itself, because what we're now doing is living in alignment. We're taking all the things, curating your environment, auditing your circles of influence, and making sure that they support the highest and best version of Christina. And you start doing those things, you can't help but win.
And that's all we do. Win. Just kidding. I'm kidding. No, but I feel like, everyone has their own journey, and it's important to understand that, because, we all have something to give to this world and a calling and our purpose.
Yeah.
And so I feel like for me personally, finding what I actually love. Yeah. But then it's whoa, you're helping people, but it's also the way I live, I can provide for my family. That's such a big win for me. Yeah. Because I don't even feel like I work, right? I'm in the space of being in service to others, but that matching up your purpose with your profit. And we talked about this before, right? Yeah. Money, it's the result, it's never the reason, and I never want to ever lose sight of that. Yeah. Ever. But just the thing is, I think why it's so valuable to have you and have other people have access to you, though, is it gets very cluttered in your brain. Yeah. There's a lot of noises and then just a lot of things that happen. So just like a coach for physical, working out, when they're why do you have one? It's well, I'd rather pay him than pay a hospital bill. Right. Same thing with you is it's people, it's making it a priority to have you in part of
It's a really big deal in that you can solve the money game, but if it's at the expense of your time, your relationships, and your health, what's the point? There are so many of our clients that we've helped along the way that have achieved affluence.
At what cost?
At what cost? They don't have a relationship with their kids, all that stuff. And it's just man.
The stuff that actually matters. Right. That's the point.
And that was a big awakening for me. When I was 16, my dad had his first heart attack. And
how old was he? Young.
2060.
60, young, yeah.
Yeah, too young. Mm-hmm. And I remember avoiding going to see him in the hospital because I was afraid I was going to show up and he was going to pass away right there in front of me. And my mom convinces me to go visit him. And this is what really started on my path of fitness. I remember sitting there bedside with him, and my dad was a habitual McDonald's eater, chain smoker, all of that. And I was like, I got on my soapbox and I was like, Dad, you got to start taking care of yourself. And he looks me dead in my face, tubes in his nose. And he's like, son, I ran away from home when I was 13. I enlisted in the Air Force so I wouldn't get drafted to Vietnam. I got through school. I started a business. I was practicing criminal defense attorney. I got 6 beautiful kids. I'm good. And I didn't understand it in the moment. Matter of fact, it pissed me off. Because my 16-year-old self just saw him giving up. My 40-year-old self, it's like, he had a great life. He left no stone unturned, right? I was like, why can't you have both those things? Why can't you live a life with no stone unturned and have a long life? And so the seed that was planted that day was, if I can help someone live that great life and live that long life, if I can do that for one person, I won. Because 5 years later, my dad went to sleep and never woke up.
Sorry.
And yeah, that was tough. But since then, I've had a client, it's one of my favorite stories. Start working with him right out of the Marine Corps, and he gets sick with cancer. Right after I opened my gym, we parted ways, and I bump into his wife. I'm on one of my first dates with my wife. She's like, hey, I don't know if you heard, but he has cancer. I was like, whatever you need, say the word. A couple of months go by, and I get a phone call. Hey, he needs you. I was like, well, you know where to find me. And send him on down. He comes in. We were working together. He was about 165, 170 pounds when we were training together. He was like 129 pounds.
Oh, man.
In remission. And I'm like, what's the goal? He says, I want to do a pull-up. And I was like, okay. No time like the present. He's like, really? Like right here, right now? I was like, we're here. Let's go. And, it didn't take us too long. We got him from one really ugly, weak pull-up to doing 10. And then I would get done training him, and we'd coach CrossFit classes, and he'd stick around and watch the show. And he's like, when, like 6 months later, he's like, when can I do that? And I was like, dude, you've been ready. So we downshift from one-on-ones. He starts taking classes. We've been rocking and rolling for over a decade, him and I now.
Wow.
And his daughter invites my wife and I to their wedding. This is where it gets cool. And she pulls me aside at the reception. And she's like, thank you for keeping my dad here.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, that right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Right. And as time would go on, where this leadership and character development thing was born, as I'm working the floor in the gym, the dentist needs the general contractor, needs the contract attorney, right? And we have all these solutions in the gym, but they're never in the gym at the same time. So I bring them all together. I buy the first round. I'm like, I don't know where this goes from here, but all of you need to know each other. And that turned into such a high frequency conversation. You're like, hey, we should do this again next month. And the next month, and the next month, and the next month. And that conversation evolved. over a decade later now, has evolved into our Leaders Forum. And it has been such a cool journey, because if you had asked me when I was leaving the Marines if this is the work that I'd be doing now, what you and I are doing together, I couldn't have seen it. And I am having such a blast watching you guys win and just being part of that journey, watching you do the work and reap the benefits. But what's really cool and what's different about what we do and how we do it, there's a transfer of ownership. And where coaching, in my experience, has fallen flat, it's because I own the process. Christina does what Mycal tells her to do. Mm-hmm. Right?
Totally get that.
But then, what do we start with? That alignment assessment, right? Mm-hmm. Who are you at your best? What does that version of Christina look like? What are the boundaries that she has in place? What does she stand for? What does she not tolerate? How does she effectively communicate her needs and expectations? Right?
That assessment was crazy. That thing, you're like facing yourself too. You're like, because you have to answer it honestly if you want help.
And once you open that box, you can't unsee it.
Correct.
Right? And one of the natural byproducts of this assessment is once you cross it, beyond this moment, I am no longer the victim of my circumstance. I am the result of my choices. And you own that. I'm simply the guide that sheds light on the path, but you have to take the steps. You have to get the reps. And it's my job to keep you on center and make sure, hey, you said we're going there. Mm-hmm. Let's make that happen. And it's been an absolute game changer for our clients.
I remember you shared another story that it was so moving, where like not only did he save the company, it scaled. And you know.
Yeah. So I'm never going to get rid of the ambiance of fitness, right? It's in my DNA. The gym, the fitness and strength and conditioning will always be part of the equation. And client, we're still working together. Matter of fact, comes to me. He's like, I got to lose 40 pounds. I'm like, okay. What happens when we lose 40 pounds? Right?
Yeah. What happens?
Everything gets better. He's like, okay. So we start working. 6 months go by, and he's down 40 pounds. We accomplished the mission, right? But every session along the way, or the sessions that he missed along the way were all company related. He built this business out of a closet over the last 2 decades. And now it's crushing. And anytime he would fall off center, it was because of the business. Not because of work, but because of inefficiencies in the business. And you help somebody lose 40 pounds over 6 months, you get a certain level of rapport that allows you to start asking bigger questions, right? And I just simply asked him, is there a reality where you've taken this business as far as you have the skill and or the will to take it? And just like I've done with you, I give all my clients homework.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he does.
And
he holds you to it.
I gave him a book to read, and I said, you don't have to answer that question right now, but read this book, let me know what lands for you, and we can continue this conversation. And he does the homework. He comes back, and he's like, oh, light bulb moment. I was like, okay, well, there's we can go 3 ways from here. Option one, you can keep doing what you've been doing, and I'll tell you how that story ends, and it's not good. Option two, you can invest in the infrastructure, delegate downstream, and take all the things that are in your way right now off your plate so you can serve the business at your highest and best and simplify your life. Or option three, you can set yourself up for M&A and move on to the next season. 18 months later, he has an 8-figure exit, retains equity of the portfolio that acquired him, and now sits on that board. And he just got back from Scotland playing the old course on a 2-week vacation. And now the only thing that he does inside the company are all the things that he loved about the business before it sold. And I'm like, that's alignment.
Right.
But when you can't see the forest through the trees because you're so close to it, you're so deep in it, and this is the pot calling the kettle black. This is the work that I've done on me, for me. It's tough, and if you're gonna stand in that muck and just hope and pray your way out of it, good luck. You have to have that objective insight that says, hey, this thing that you've built over the last 12 years doesn't serve you anymore. It's time for what's next. And, the work that we've done, I've walked that path for me in sunsetting the gym and moving into this exclusively. That was such a tough pill to swallow, trying to figure that out. And along the way, coming back to when you're in alignment, you can weather the craziest storm, because I got approached by an up and coming franchise, I told you this, out of Texas. And they wanted me to come aboard as essentially the COO. And for a lot of reasons, it didn't line up and I had to walk away. And in walking away from that opportunity, I created a gigantic shitstorm for myself in terms of where are we going to relocate the gym, because we're not staying here. I did my best to make sure that the team had as soft a landing as possible because of all this crazy that I created. And from the outside looking in, people were like, dude, you've got to be going crazy right now. How's the family doing? Is everybody okay? And realizing what's coming, I never slept better because I knew that opportunity wasn't for me. But there's an old version of Mycal that would have committed to it, relocated to Texas, done all the things that my gut told me weren't right because my brain came over the top and sabotaged it, right? Now I'm in the pattern that I help my clients resolve, in that I chased the money and as a result created my own misery. Not cool.
Yep. Say that again for those that need to hear it. You never chase the money. The money will come.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was, but because I made that decision out of alignment, because I'm one of the determining factors of walking away, I'm in the best position I've ever been in.
But you worked on that.
As a husband and a father.
You worked on this. You are who you are now, but you had to work to get where you are.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of work that you do and you touch, like, let's say, not just alignment, but all the other things, like, ego. How much that gets in the way. Pride. How much that.
Well, I mean, you and I have had conversations and, you want to hang on to things. And it's like...
I told Mycal about how I can't touch my mom's stuff. I need my own time. And he said, I'll know when that is. But, because when she passed, I just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the ego trying to protect us. And we have to ask ourselves honestly, or create space to answer honest questions, to really get to our next easiest step. You know, just like the conversation we had about your mom, you know, like is that, are you still in the grieving process, or is that you not wanting to move on? That's the conversation that we had, you know? And once we sifted all that out as to what was true, what is true for Christina, it's no longer a weight you're carrying, right? Because even though it's over there, it's still energy taking you off center, right? And once you can find resolution, now you can get back to alignment.
Well, and I think, like, you know, one of the other lessons really are things that you reinforced in me is like life will keep going, and with life comes challenges. That's part of it.
Yeah,
it's how you deal with it and all that, but also that I said it earlier, whatever issue there is, lean into it. Don't unpack there, but lean into it. Right. And I guess the thing was, it's saying, okay, so there's a problem. Cool. Now how do we fix it? That's it. And it was never as simple as that until you made it so simple. Okay, you have a problem. All right, let's go fix it, right? Like, instead of dwelling on the problem,
right? How
do we fix the problem?
Yeah, I mean, there's, regardless of what's going on in your circumstance, taking ownership of the pieces of it that are yours to own. You know, we don't control other people.
That's the best part, or the huge part, really, is you part of ego, part of pride, holding yourself accountable to the things that you know you're responsible for.
I don't control what Christina does. You know, when I tell you this uncomfortable truth, or we're having this conversation that is full of friction, even if we're really good at setting the table with love and respect, that doesn't remove friction or discomfort, right? I think that's one of the giant misconceptions in the work that I do, is that, I'm going to work with Mycal, I'm going to work with Next Level, and all of my problems go away. Like, no.
Magic wand? That would be a boring life, I'm just saying.
Your ability to handle those issues becomes exponential. Your bandwidth, your capacity, things become pretty binary since we've worked together. Like, it's either hell yes or hell no, and there's not a whole lot in between.
Right.
Because
you taught me how to say no.
Right.
Because I couldn't say no before.
But you know why you can say no? Right? This is big. Because now when things come your way, you can answer the question, regardless of what it looks like, because this is really critical in the work that we do. What's in alignment for us doesn't always look the way that we thought it would. Right? And when you can answer the question, is what's in front of me in alignment with my highest and best self? It doesn't matter what it looks like. You know, again, if you had asked me if this is what I'd be doing 12 years ago, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. However, what I'm doing now with you, with our clients, with our tribe, is 100% in alignment, right? So all the growing pains, the transition away from brick and mortar, all of that uncertainty and chaos, as long as you're moving in alignment, like, you're on center all the way through that storm.
Yeah. You definitely move funny when you're not in alignment. But, it's like, the other thing too, which I wanted to share, is why I think it's so valuable, is the uncomfortable moments. They're no longer that. Yes, maybe, but it's like not trying to stay away from it, veer away. Like, just now I'm like, let's go head on.
Yeah.
And then what's next?
John Gottman introduced a concept called honest conflict versus dishonest harmony.
Oh, yes. Say that again.
And this is one of my favorite things to talk about, because it is 100%. It's enriched and empowered my wife and I's relationship, and introducing that concept to our clients has been massive too, because we don't realize how normal it's become to just simply walk on eggshells and tiptoe around things. And when you confront things head on, again, setting the table with love and respect, right? You can say the ugly thing, right? When you and your husband understand that you're playing the same game, like this is how an uncomfortable conversation goes with Nicole and I. I don't have the words, so I'm just gonna let it be clunky. And she's like, okay. And it comes out really gross, really crude, really jumbled, but we're playing the same game. So she's willing to ask the clarifying questions so that whatever it is I'm trying to get to the bottom of or resolve within me or with her eventually gets teased out, right? Whereas before, I would just let it go
until you're gonna blow up later.
And just say the thing one way and the only way that I knew how, and it wouldn't land, you know? And I used to think that my way of communicating was the preferred way to communicate. And when I would get feedback about being unapproachable and people not wanting to engage with me, I got really confused, because I would stand there and tell you, I've got an open door policy. You can tell me anything. I'm here for you. And what I realized through this alignment assessment, when I was introduced to it, I show up as a commanding, decisive, assertive leader. Mm-hmm. What I desire, my needs and expectations, are very collaborative in nature. And when I have that collaborative engagement from my team, from my wife, from my clients, right, I can make decisions, right? But I had to shift. Not everybody shows up that way.
Yeah, everyone's different. That's why you have to do the assessment.
And that's why we lead with the assessment, because I'm the type of person.
Justin, you need it. It helps.
Everything that I've been celebrated for, those things I just described, being hyper social, right, is counter to what I need, what I require to show up that way, right? You experience me as an extrovert. What I need is very introvert in nature. Mm-hmm. So it's not weird to Mycal to go to a movie by myself. It's not abnormal to sit and read for an hour. It's not weird to me to walk in the house, don't say hi to nobody, and walk straight back to the bedroom and decompress all by my lonesome. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't mind being alone. I don't feel lonely.
Mm-hmm. That's huge, yeah.
But when you experience this version of me and I engage in that behavior, it's weird, right? It's off-putting. Like, what's wrong with Mycal? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But when you understand these things about yourself, you can now communicate what's actually going on, right? So, for example, when my social bandwidth is really, really low, mm-hmm. I can come home. I now know this about myself. I need that me time. But first, I walk in the house, I make sure everybody's good. I give it a 5-10 minute sprint of just love, check in, kiss my wife, play with the kids, and then I get that time. And my wife knows that about me too, because we're playing the same game, right? And now that thing that would kind of like just be going on in the background, and like now everybody's disjointed. It's like, oh, hey, dad needs his time, right? But I also know those things about my wife.
Correct. And the kids.
Right? And now it's like, cool. It's like a tag team wrestling match. We tap in and tap out. It's awesome. And super fun, right? When you had that deeper understanding of each other, and you were able to see it, as it started to play out. It's like, hey, do you want me to take the kids? So because my wife and I's needs and expectations are the same. So when I see her getting low, it's like, I got you.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's that thing right there, that frame of like when it comes to like love or relationship, like to me, like the people that really win in that is when you're able to love someone through their ugliest, bottom out, like lowest.
Yeah.
And you help them get back. Right. And then you just do it for each other. Yeah. But I feel like what you do though is just, again, so powerful because you can come and make an impact if it's a relationship. Yeah. As a business, which I know you also do, because that assessment is, because I did it. And it's hard to take, do I answer this right? Do I answer this, like how I'm checking my own ego now? Like, because you're literally facing yourself. But it was cool to do that because I learned, it's weird because Kevin hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
And that was like, I told you, I'm like, I'm going to buy it as a gift.
Yeah.
But when I did it, it's weird. Not only did I understand me, but also it helped me understand him more.
Sure.
So I feel like once he does it, it'll also do the same. And you also like so we talked about corporate stuff, office stuff, relationships, or just as a person. And the pushback that I get, just with people or friends is, especially like if they're like a macho dude, like totally. I don't need that. That's the same way like sometimes you're like, oh, I don't need marriage counseling, but it's just I'm I guess here to share that it definitely, it's almost like having like a live diary.
Yeah, it's the way I describe it now is it's reintroducing you to yourself. Yeah. And it's
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
It's interesting because, depending on, which way we're coming into this relationship, whether it's a personal thing or a professional initiative. This just happened the other day. We're moving through the components, and our new client is like, well, she's looking at everything from a professional perspective. She's like, oh, that doesn't really show up in my world. Based on what I just described, what does that look like within the context of your romantic relationships? She was like, oh my God. Because here's the dynamic that shows up. She's in a relationship with a really decisive individual. And, they have a solid line of communication between the two of them. He checks in, he's like, hey, I'm about to do X, Y, Z, right? And what's showing up in this portion of our dialogue is she's not in a role professionally that requires a lot of her input, right? So she's like, I don't know.
You decide.
Whatever. You're the boss, right? Yeah. You tell me what to do. But in her relationship, she doesn't feel seen, right? And again, coming back to that value of ownership, right? The lesson here for her was self-advocacy, right? When he checks in that he's going to do whatever, her old pattern was not speaking up, right? And not even to challenge, but you just simply voice her opinion. Even if she agrees, right? The biggest part of this, because it's not a matter of but when you regress to old patterns that are familiar and comfortable, whether they're good for you or not, that's the human dynamic, right? It's the practice of stepping into this higher, better version of yourself that matters, right? And with this awareness, she's like, oh my gosh, it's not that I don't feel seen. I'm not speaking up for myself. One's an externalization, one is taking ownership. They're not the same thing. Mm-hmm. And what has occurred in their relationship as a result, she feels like more a partner than she ever has, right? And here's the interesting thing. Like, nothing's broken. Nothing was broken. It's only gotten better, though.
Who wouldn't like that? But in this, like, when we're talking about this, like, think about how many divorces can be saved, how many attrition, like, in a company, you're firing people left and right when it's like you have the wrong person doing the wrong thing. And, with perception being reality. And that's what I'm saying. Like, your work, the assessment, it allows you to, manage that. And really put people where they can thrive.
100%.
And be that best version.
Yes. Absolutely.
Tell everyone how to get a hold of you, please.
Yeah. You can find me on social at Coach Derz, DERZ. You can find Next Level at nextlevel_PHX. There's CoachDerz.com. My podcast, Progress Always, which is on Spotify. I'm about to get that thing dropped on every platform here in the not too distant future. And we are reskinning nextlevelpfc.com, where you can find everything that I just described.
There you go. And because I love to challenge my friends, I'm going to say that eventually he'll also have a book. And I called it.
Okay.
Yep. Said it here first.
It's on the list. Let's go.
Also, shout out to this amazing coffee company. It's our neighbor at the office, Renegade. Of course, 1019 Coffee is my favorite, but they are not here by the office. So here's another one. No, Leilani has literally the best mindset, an abundant mindset. She doesn't have scarcity in her. No. She loves to support. Like, she kind of created this, not just coffee like community, but like entrepreneurs. Like, she's also like just a light. And her communication skills at 26 years old.
Oh yeah, she's impressive.
I'm like, wow, we always want our kids better than us, and my kids are definitely better than me. And just to cut this or end this, I will say, Mycal, you've also helped me with one thing that I like carried with me, which is, so when I get angry, oh my God, I'm scary. Yeah. And I have a sharp tongue. But I get over it fast, and then it's like, don't piss me off. But I never have the ability to actually, I always lead with my heart, but because I love so hard that when you hurt me, it hurts, right? But understanding all of my, really myself and the things that I wanted to work on, that was one of them, is because, and I was like that even, and my mom was like that, just our tongue is so sharp. And now I'm able to go like, okay, let me get back with you on that. I can't make decisions right now. I'm pissed. Let me just, because.
What a shift.
Yeah, and, but I don't know. I just think that was very helpful because that was a pattern I saw where like I might get angry and it goes away so fast, but then I say something I don't even mean. Right. And now it's so, I guess, like I feel good that was something that you helped me with. Beautiful. Where before I just blurt out what I think I really feel. I'm like, okay, let me sit with myself.
Well, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, that was like a big thing for me. Yeah. So, okay, I will bring you back, obviously. I'm here for it. Till next time, bye.
Love you guys. Progress always.